My name is Matt Dunwell and I farm at Ragmans Farm in Gloucestershire. We've been growing apples here for about 15 years and we have 1,000 trees, various different varieties. My experience with apple trees is that diversity is really important in your crop, and so it helps trees pollinate each other, but also you'll find that some years you get a poor yield with some varieties and other varieties do well. So the more diversity you can get into your orchard, the better. And orchards are things that you can grow on a very small scale in a back garden. You can still have 10 trees in a small back garden because you can prune them really low, but you can get all the diversity and the enjoyment of seeing different apples coming into season at different times. And one of the things that we're experimenting with here at Ragmans is grafting, and this is a way that you can create your own trees with a little bit of common sense. It's pretty easy. And so what we do is the top bit of the tree is what determines the variety of the apple. And this is a really good example of a sort of piece of wood that you'd want to graft on the top of your rootstock. It's called the scion, and it's just a little bit chunkier than a pencil. So the best time to take a graft is towards the end of February, where the sap is just beginning to rise in the tree, so it's coming into the top stock here, and the sap is also just beginning to rise in the rootstock. You can buy rootstock from a good nursery, a good tree nursery, and what rootstock does is you can plant it. It will readily root, and it'll throw up shoots from the rootstock. Now these shoots you can either just pull off and they'll have little roots attached to them, or you can cut them into 1-foot sections and you can actually propagate them in plant pots with a little bit of heat. They'll throw out some roots, and then you'll have the base of your tree, your rootstock of your tree. If you tried to root this top stock here, it would be quite tricky to do that. It doesn't do that so readily. With the rootstock, you've got your rooted rootstock, and then onto that you graft your scion. Now I'm not going to talk about how you actually do the grafting cut, because there's many videos about that. But the point I want to make really is, if you've got a community orchard and you've got lots of people and you're looking for apple activities to do with them, it's really easy to get some rootstock growing, little stools of rootstock, a bit like a coppice. And that gives you the material that you need into the future to then graft your top stock onto. And you can go around your neighbourhood and talk about, you know, Mrs. Bloggs's red apple, or Granny this, that, the other, who's got a really nice fruit that grows well in your local area. You can take a graft from the top of that tree and put it on your rootstock. And then what you're doing with your community orchard is preserving your local diversity of trees, and you can bet your bottom dollar that the quality of fruit off that in a backyard situation is going to be just as good as any other hybrid that you buy out of a garden centre.